Hello guys and girls, and welcome back to another episode of Seb Talks Sports. That intro music and podcast theme was created by All-Pro New York Giants running back, now music creator and friend of the show, David Wilson. Go and check him out on all of his social media platforms at For Still Running on Twitter and Instagram, and his music under David E. Wilson across all good music streaming services. He's free for business, so drop him a message if you want some beats for your podcast, advert, commercial, absolutely anything you need. Before I get into this episode, I just want to say that if you're not already following Seb Talks Sports across all platforms, then please do. You can find me on Facebook, Seb Talks Sports, YouTube, Seb Talks Sports, Twitter at Seb Talks Sports, and Instagram where I'm primarily active. Again, it's at Seb Talks Sports. Today I have another great guest joining me on Seb Talks Sports. A two-time Super Bowl champion who played 6 years and over 75 games in the NFL as a member of some of the greatest teams in league history. It's the one and only Anthony Smith. Enjoy. My guest today is a two-time Super Bowl champion and 6-year NFL veteran safety who played over 75 games, intercepting and deflecting passes on some of the greatest teams in NFL history. It's an absolute pleasure to welcome Anthony Smith to Seb Talk Sports. Anthony, how are you?
I'm doing good. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me, Chief.
You got it, man. Thanks for joining me today.
Yes, sir.
So I want to start with your college career because you had a fantastic college career. Not only were you second team All-Big East in your junior year and then first team All-Big East in your senior year, but you also ended your time at Syracuse with the third most interceptions in school history with 14, setting a school record with 6 block kicks, turning 2 into touchdowns, as well as many more achievements. So how much did you enjoy your time as a member of the Orange with fellow NFL talents such as David Tyree, and how did it specifically prepare you for the NFL when you took that step up to becoming a pro?
Oh, man, I had a great experience at Syracuse, man. Like you just said, going into a university like that with guys like you just mentioned, Dave Tyree, and older guys like Clifton Smith. We had Johnny Morant on the team, Walt Reyes, Diamond Ferry. So, like, all of those guys played and were the top guys just like myself coming out of school. And, when I got there, you just seen right away the difference from high school, obviously to college, and then with those guys being leaders and, having that focus and that drive to have that end goal of making it to the NFL. I recognized very quickly, the guys who really had that passion and who really, put in that work effort to get there, and the guys who, they talk about it, but, it's just one thing to talk about it. It's a whole nother thing to, put in that work of a champion and of a winner.
Yeah, that's it. And then, of course, your fantastic college career meant that you were taken in the third round of the 2006 NFL draft. So in 2006, April, Kevin Colbert picked up the phone and gave you a call, asking you to be the latest addition to a Pittsburgh Steelers roster coming off the back of a Super Bowl title when they defeated the Seahawks in Super Bowl 40. So how did it feel to receive that call and join such a star-studded roster? What did it mean to you and your family?
Oh, man, it was a blessing, man. I actually, because I'm being from Youngstown, Ohio, most of the people are either Pittsburgh or Cleveland fans. So you get one or the other. My mother is actually a Browns fan. So, right. So when I got drafted, it was like half the family was cheering and half the family was like, we're cheering for you, but we ain't cheering for the team, when we play each other. So, that was good. Another half of my family, were Pittsburgh fans. So to be able to get drafted to the better team in the backyard, it was a blessing, man. And to be able to come in there, man, and play under the wings of some of those great veterans, man, some of those legends, man, it was beautiful, man. So, and then my family didn't have to travel a lot. Pittsburgh is only about 45 minutes to an hour from Youngstown. So, that was another blessing. A lot of my family got to see me play.
That's great to hear. And of course, during your time on the Steelers, you had an incredibly successful tenure because you went 8-8 in your rookie season, didn't make it to the playoffs that year, but of course, your second season, 10-6 as a playoff side before that very special season in 2008, which we have to talk about, of course, because you went 12-4 with a first-round playoff bye, beating the Chargers in the divisional round, the Ravens in the AFC Championship game, and then the Arizona Cardinals in Super Bowl 43, a season in which you played 14 games in total. So how did it feel when Kurt Warner fumbled the ball with just seconds to go in the fourth quarter of that Super Bowl, and you knew you were Super Bowl champions? What did it mean to lift that Lombardi and wear that ring?
Oh man, it was a great feeling because, you know, as a kid, you know, I had a vision, my vision since I was 5 years old, you know, to play in the NFL and to win the Super Bowl, man, and to actually work through that whole process consciously, like, you know, going through Little League and then going through middle school and then high school and then college, and actually, you know, like, okay, setting your goals and, you know, seeing what the standards are and seeing what the numbers are. And it's like, okay, this is, if I want to go to the NFL, these are the numbers I got to put up. This is what I got to do. Okay, so, you know, I just took that approach to the game. And, you know, once I did that, and I'm like, okay, if I can get the numbers to fall within the range of all of these guys, you know, I know my opportunity will be a lot higher to play in the NFL, man. So that's the approach I took. You know, and I never cared about who was putting up the numbers. You know, I just needed to know what the numbers were, because no matter who you're facing, you know, my attitude is always going to be, I'm going to win. So, you know, to have that, you know, mindset of drive, it definitely carried me through that whole situation. And then to actually get to the Super Bowl and win it, man, it's just like, it's the icing on the cake, man. It's okay. This is no longer, you know, the dream. This is the reality, you know. So to be able to make that dream come into reality, man, and manifest it twice, man, was a blessing.
That's awesome. And of course, as a Super Bowl champ, I was delighted when, after your time in Pittsburgh and then 2 games on the Rams, you joined my favorite team, the Jacksonville Jags. And while the team only went 7-9 and 8-8 during your time there, not making the playoffs, you had 3 interceptions in just 5 starts and proved yourself as a key player in the Jags secondary. So as a fan of the team, I would love to know, how much did you enjoy your time on the Jags? What was it like in the locker room? And what were your first impressions of the city of Jacksonville when you arrived?
Actually, man, you know what? There was a few teams that I wanted to play for. Pittsburgh being one of them, obviously, and then the other 2 were who my other 2? Jacksonville. I'm tripping, and then my other one was Baltimore because of the style of defenses. You know, they were hard hitting, hard nosed. You know, this is what we do. You know, type of guys. So, you know, I was like, I want to play for one of those teams, one of those defenses. I fit the, you know, criteria and fit right in, man. So when I got to, you know, left Pittsburgh and got the opportunity to play for Jacksonville, man, that was another, you know, exciting piece for me in my career. You know, being able to play with guys, big legends like Big Henderson, Big John, you know, Rasheed Mathis and Big Stroud, and, you know, one of my brothers, you know, Big Julius Williams and Derek Harvey. So Big Buck Smith, you know, all those guys, man, Mojo. Who else was over there? My guy T. Hope was over there at the time. Man, G. Jones. It was great, man. I had a great time. It was some hard-nosed guys over there. I love the atmosphere. I love the, you know, the culture in the locker room. And then Coach Jack, that was my guy. He was a players coach, man. I love Jack, man. And, you know, him being also a player, you know, that just made it that much better, man. And he truly understood the game and, you know, just, you know, always listened to us as players. And that was another thing that I loved about, you know, Coach Kyle too. You know, certain guys who really haven't played the game, they won't listen to their players. You know, they'll just, you know, go through the system and, you know, be a tough guy. But he's one of those guys who, or both of those coaches were guys who listen to their players, man, and that's how they got, you know, the most out of us. And that's how you get the most out of your players. So, you know, the locker room was great, man. The team was great. You know, the energy was great. One thing I didn't like about Jacksonville that I thought was kind of ineffective and and it's kind of like that when you're going through transitions and stuff. But there was a lot of players coming in and out. Even like myself. There's a lot of interchanges going on, and you really can't. Winning is more than talent. Winning is chemistry.
Yeah.
You can have the most talent in the world, but if guys aren't on the same page, you get a bunch of guys who are less talented on the same page. They'll probably win all day. So, having that in like Jacksonville they had the attitude to win, but the formula was, kind of off a little bit, just interchanging play. And I just felt that, we had great pieces, as and a great team, man. I just felt if we could have kept a nucleus of guys, together and let them bond a little bit more and build that, chemistry on the field, I think Jacksonville would have been a lot more successful, man. But, I had a good time there. Not much to do in the city. I know you asked about the city. Not much to do there. It's some retired folks. City, they have a lot of military folks who come there, after they retire. Very quiet. I love it as far as, it being very peaceful, and quiet, as obviously Jacksonville has its rough parts like everywhere else, so, but, for the most part, man, I enjoyed my time. It was quiet, I mean? I hit the beaches with a couple of the guys, every now and then, but most of the time we would just, after the games and practice, go over each other's house, chop it up, play video games and stuff like that, and then go out to eat because there wasn't much to do. But that was my experience in Jacksonville.
Nice. As a fan of the team, that's awesome to hear. Okay, so, of course, your 2008 season on the Steelers wasn't the only time you got yourself a Super Bowl ring, because after being traded to the Packers in 2010, you played 4 games before being placed on IR on a team that went all the way and won Super Bowl 45 against your former team, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Very few people in NFL history have even played in a Super Bowl, let alone won one, whereas you have 2 rings. So how special was it to contribute to a team and become a Super Bowl champion for the very second time?
Oh, man, that was another blessing, man, because, the situation, kind of how that went down was a little crazy from when I was actually, after I left Pittsburgh, my coach, Darren Perry, he was the DB coach in Pittsburgh. He had went over to Green Bay. So he brought me over there. I performed well. We had, I think 6 safeties over there. It was me, Charlie Pepper, Aaron Rouse, Tari Bigby, Nick Collins, and Jared Bush. There was 6 of us starting. And then, I was the new guy on the block. Had a great preseason. Coach was letting me know, man, I was in a battle for the starting job with me and Bigby. And, the last game versus Dallas, I played pretty good. I think I dropped the interception. I think that might have sealed the deal, man, getting that starting job. But I didn't. So I ended up going home after that last preseason game. And I'm like, I know I'm on the team. I'm fighting for the starting job. And I get a phone call from the front office like, hey, Ann, it ain't, it's not the coaches, but, guys upstairs, they want to keep another player because they had just drafted Aaron Rouse in the 2nd round. So they decided to keep him. And, Charles was over there at the time, Woodson. They had just brought him over there. Yeah. And he kind of went off on the media a little bit and on the team a little bit. Y'all brought me here to win championships, and, y'all getting rid of players like this, what's really the motive. So I got picked up by Jacksonville after they released me that same day. And halfway, we were going to play, and during that season, we were going to play Tennessee on a Monday night game. And I was actually driving on my over to the hotel to go check in and get ready and stuff. And I get a phone call from the front office in Jacksonville. Hey, where you at? I'm driving to the hotel. What's up? Don't go. Turn around. You just got traded back to Green Bay. What the hell? All right. So I turn around, go pack my stuff first thing on the first thing. So I get back to Green Bay, and we ended up winning the Super Bowl that year, man. And I was pissed because one of my old teammates, shout out to John Coon, man, because he's a great player, Big Coon. We were in practice, man, and I had just came back off a high ankle sprain. And we were going into the Super Bowl. And it was the Thursday, I think it was like the Thursday before we were about to leave. And we were doing a punt block drill, and that was on the end. We were in shell, shoulder pads and helmet. Man, I go to get the block, man, and my dog Coon is right beside me. Somehow he gets tripped up, bam, rolls up on my knee, rolls up on my leg. So I re-aggravate my damn high ankle sprain. So that's when they was like, damn, and it won't be enough time, for you to heal. So they just put me on IR and brought another guy in. But I was pissed because I didn't get to play against my old boys. I didn't get to go out there and put in work like I wanted to, man. But I definitely, played through spirit because my bro Charlie Pep, Big B had got hurt at the time. And before every game, man, shout out to my dog, man, Charlie Pepper, man. He used to come to me, before every game and just get that talk, get that speech and stuff. So for me, it was just like, and he did that all the way up until he did it all the way through the Super Bowl, all the way through the playoffs, all the way up through the Super Bowl, man. And, so for me, it was just like, and I think for him, he recognized that. And that's what I appreciate about Pep. And because he know how bad I wanted to be out there and stuff like that. So I played through Pep, you know what I'm saying? And he went out there and did his thing, man, and we won the Super Bowl, man. So, that'll be my dog, man, my brother forever. And so it's just like, even though I wasn't, physically playing in the game, they still felt my physical and spiritual presence on the sideline because, the type of player I am and the kind of energy I bring, in a locker room and into a team. So, all the guys respect that about me and they feed off of that, man. So, that I was able to provide them, with that. And that's what being, a true team player is. And I kind of think that's one of my building blocks and testimony, just to learn from winning Super Bowls and championships like that. It's just like, being, everybody wants to be a part of, that, but sometimes you have to sacrifice, and play a different role. So, I had to step back and play a completely different role, but, I took it on and, made sure the guys was full of energy the whole time because I knew who they were playing against and I knew what kind of mentality was over there that they were playing against because that's where I came from. So I just made sure that, those guys always, had that same fight spirit and warrior mentality, man, and they did, and we ended up pushing through and winning that thing.
That's awesome. I want to talk about some of the fantastic players you played with throughout your career. Just an endless list of names. So I'm going to list off some for the people listening or watching this. So you got Big Ben, Santonio Holmes, whose catch secured that first Super Bowl win for you. Hines Ward, James Harrison, Troy Polamalu, Ike Taylor, Joey Porter, Alan Vaneka, James Farrier, Aaron Rodgers, Charles Woodson, Pat Lee, who I've interviewed, CJ 2K, and then Uche Nwaneri, who I've also interviewed, Mojo, Marie Jones-Drew, and David Garrard on my Jags, just to name a few, but there are so many like you were listing off. Of those guys, and any others you'd like to mention, of course, which one of those stuck out to you most ability-wise as the best teammate you've ever had? And as a safety, who would you say was your greatest ever individual opponent?
Oh, man. We had this discussion all the time, just about, players and just with random people. I always say there is no, like everybody has their different attributes, if you want a ground and pound guy, you can pick your your Adrian Petersons, your Buses. If you want guys that strike out fast, you get CJ 2Ks, your fast Willie Parkers, those kind of guys. So it's like everyone has, their attributes, their own special thing, and you just gotta recognize and respect, what it is. And man, as a safety, the greatest adversary, I would probably say, it's tough. Like I said, it goes back to that same thing because you're like, okay, the best deep ball guy, Randy Moss.
Yeah.
That I played against. One of the best route runners, Ocho Cinco. Some of the best hands, Hines Ward, Larry Fitzgerald. Like Andre Johnson. I can keep going. You know what I'm saying? Like all of these guys is you could just, it's just like pick your poison, man. Pick your poison for the day. You want to go against Megatron, the big built, you know what I'm saying? Robotic guy who's 6'4", do all that athletic stuff, or you want to go against Deshaun Jackson, the speedy Mighty Mouse. You know what I'm saying? So, or you want to go against Steve Smith, the strong speedy Mighty Mouse. So you just like pick your poison, man. Like, man, it's so many great guys, man, and I can never choose. I just always, pick individual guys like I just did, man. I think that's the list as far as receiver, man. I would have to say Ocho, best route runner. Chad, what's the name? Randy, the best deep ball guy. One of the best possession guys that I played against. Fitzgerald. I can't say Hines, but he was on my team. So I would have to probably say possession receiver, Fitzgerald.
Yeah. I mean, just some great players there. I'm sure everyone knows exactly how good those guys are. As well as players, I want to talk about some of the fantastic coaches you've had as well, including but not limited to Paul Pasqualoni, who was head coach for most of your time at Syracuse, Bill Cowher, Mike Tomlin, Dick LeBeau, Darren Berry, Ray Horton, Jack Del Rio, Mel Tucker, Mike McCarthy, Dom Capers, and Mike Munchak. But of those guys, and of course any others you'd like to mention, of course, who was most pivotal to your game as a safety, and which piece of advice that they gave you was most useful in your career?
I would probably have to say probably Coach Tucker, because I've known Tuck since high school. Coach Tucker recruited me when he was at Ohio State, and then I ended up going to Syracuse. Then during that college stint, he ended up transferring over to the league, and then he's the one, him and Jack, because Jack wanted me out the draft too. And I think Coach, who was Mel at? Coach might have been in Cleveland at the time. Mel might have been in Cleveland at the time. He wanted me too, but when he got a chance to get to Jacksonville, him and Mel both liked me, so they came and got me. But I would probably say Tuck helped me out. But I had another coach, man, in high school, not high school, high school too, but college, man, Coach Littlejohn. He's out at where's dang it? He's out in California where Joey Porter's from. Oh man, I'm mad I'm losing his name right now. But he's out head coach in California right now. From the moment he got to Syracuse, we hit it off. Because I was always one of them players. Even through high school, my head coach Beck, Coach DeJulio, like where I'm from in Youngstown, like per capita, I think it still may be. I know it really was in 2017, but I'm pretty sure the numbers haven't changed much. But per capita, Youngstown has the most guys in the NFL. And that's where I'm from. So I came from a line of coaches who were all coached under great, collegiate coaches and stuff like that. Like the Harbaughs, from the city. And so they all, were in that same coaching formula. And then when I got to meet Coach Littlejohn, I would always tell coaches, man, be coach me. I want to be hard, coach me hard. And I think that's what a lot of coaches, loved about me. I didn't mind taking criticism, because I was always going to be my own worst critic anyway. So, but I always tell coaches, man, push me. Make sure, I know I'm, one of the best players, but, push me, because coaches can be, lenient on, the best players sometimes. But I was always that guy, like, hey, man, just push me. Make sure I always stay on my game and stuff like that, man. I think that's what, a lot of coaches, love and respect about me. Because I just want to line up, play, and go hard, man. But all of those coaches, man, have had an impact on me, man. Coach um, Cowher, that's who called me. That's who I am, it's Coach Cowher. They called me. They called me actually early, like I think even before the draft started.
Mm.
And then it was during the first round. They were like, hey, we were going to come get you on our second pick, but we're going to trade up to get Santonio.
Mm.
So if you're still there, we're going to come get you. I was like, all right, cool. Bam, they got the phone. Third round come around, still on the board. I get that phone call from Coach Cowher. It hurts me. It's like be a part of the Steelers. Coach. And then, I'm sitting up in my room. My family don't know. I'm sitting up in my room. I get the call already. And, and then Steelers pick come up. They say my name and all that other stuff. And then my family, they go crazy downstairs and stuff like that. But I had already knew. So it was cool, man. It was a great experience, man. And, all those coaches from the moment. And my first play, I think this is what made Coach Cowher fall in love with me. My first play was actually it was a punt.
Mm.
We were punting. It was a preseason game at Philly. And I think JRE was back there punt return, man. And I laid a nice lick on him, a little boomstick lick on him. He fumbled the ball. My helmet flew off. I think his helmet came off. And I'm scrambling to go get the ball. I think, that was my first play in the NFL. So I think from that moment on, and then from that moment on, I did nothing but that, So, I think that's when Coach Cowher fell in love with me, man. And, that was that. That was that. And same thing with Jack. They already knew who I was.
Mm.
I already had my reputation, man, built up. Coach Munchak, he already knew who I was, So, all of them just respected me as a player, and I respected them as coaches. And that's just how we got along, man. And I never really had any bad relationships, I can say, with any of my coaches, man. And if I did, I was a player who I knew how to stay away from coaches.
Mm.
Yeah. I just want to come out here and perform, and that's it. We don't have to, we can learn to respect each other and go our separate ways, and let's just go out here and get this dub. You go your way, I go my way.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome to hear. And of course, from being coached to becoming a coach yourself since retiring in 2012, it's been fantastic to see some of the work you've been doing with some young aspiring football players. You've become a mentor and a coach for Battle of the Trenches, who obviously you're wearing the merch now, which looks awesome, who do brilliant work in player development for kids looking to improve their football skills and mindset. So I'd love to know what it is that you specifically love about giving back to the community and helping breed the next generation of NFL talent.
Man, just being able to understanding what life is, and accomplishing a dream, and actually understanding what manifestation is, and to be able to manifest something that I had envisioned since I was 5 and complete all of those goals and tasks. I'm like, to be able to give another kid, another child, another person that information, that access, that knowledge to achieve whatever they're trying to do, that's the ultimate goal, and you instill it in them at an early age. So, and you're going to lose. We tell our kids all the time, you're going to lose how fast you jump. How high you jump, how fast you run, how far you throw a ball. You're going to lose all of those abilities, or you're not going to necessarily, they're going to, come down. You're not going to have as much of it, as you get older. But the one thing that you won't lose, that'll stay 100% to the max, is your character.
Yeah.
We're big on, character building. That's our number one thing, character building. Just giving them the mindset, the knowledge in order to be not just a successful athlete, but a successful person in life. Because, as we all know, those football gave us some of the greatest life skills that we have today. And a lot of athletes can perform better and are more successful, in team settings because they already have that environment. They're unselfish people. They know how to win. They know how to, help a teammate out if they're struggling, and not criticize them do all those other things that a selfish individual, would do. So just helping them, be good people, man, because at the end of the day, we all need each other, and you never know when you're going to need that next person. So we always tell them to be mindful how you treat people, because only 3% of us make it. That other 97% go off and be professionals at something else. So, when we retire, I get an example in the story. Julius, who I played with in Jacksonville, when I retired, his dad was because I didn't want to just go work for anybody and sit behind the desk and, just. So I'm a physical person. I like to use my hands. I like to work out a lot, so physical labor to me is not, maybe I just see it as a workout. So I'm like, let me do something that I can get a good workout in and I don't mind doing it, and still, make money and bring all that stuff in. So his dad was a supervisor for a construction company, a demolition company. And when I got done, Julius used to always working in high school and, in college and stuff to make money when he came home and stuff. So, he told me about it. And I was like, yeah, man, cool. He like, if you ever want to make some extra money, pop do this. And just from word of mouth and relationships, just off a relationship, I got a good job doing something that I didn't mind doing, that I had fun doing, that, I can go do whenever I want. So, but had I, been a snobby person, because if a person is not drafted in a certain round, or you got more money than the person, had I treated him different, because he's not or if a person is not a starter, they may be down on the depth chart or whatever. Had I treated him different, I may not have had that opportunity. Maybe I would have had to go do something that I really didn't want to do. But since I treated people good and always was mindful of, what I did to and for people, that allowed me to have an easier transition and, my exit in the NFL.
Nice stuff. That's great to hear. And of course, as well as coaching, I'd love to talk about some of the music you've been doing too since retiring. So you formed rap group Face Card Bosses, and you released singles like No Change in Me, which I listened to and loved. I saw you in the video as well, the 2 rings, which was awesome. But what was your reason behind forming the rap group and venturing into music? And will we see any more in the future?
So as you know, when you retire, you have to have, I tell guys all the time, find that next passion, and for me, it was music. We all like music. We all grew up on music, and we all take to music in some form or way, whether it be, DJing, producer, a rapper, singer, whatever. We all take to music in some form or way. So with me, I just couldn't really play instruments. I know how to make a beat and do all that other stuff, but we all joke around and freestyle growing up, doing that stuff anyway. But, as I was like, okay, maybe this is something that I can do. So I started, writing, and then fell in love with it, fell in love with the storytelling portion of it. And from there, man, it was something that I didn't have to exert extra energy doing. It was something that just came natural. I could put the same energy that I put into it that I did with football, so and that's what I try to do in life. Anything that I can naturally gravitate towards and put positive energy towards that won't drain me and is not effort, and I can do it effortlessly, I will push myself towards those things, even if they're not monetarily, as big as you would like them to be. I'm the kind of person that is just like, I'll sacrifice that for my happiness and to actually, wake up and just be comfortable in life. A lot of people don't wake up and get to do what they want to do. So, early in my life, I did what I had to do in order what I wanted to do. So now I get to, pick and choose what I want to do when I want to do it. So that's just a blessing behind that. So and that's when Face Card Bosses came in. My partner, he's actually Nicodemus. He was with Master P when Master P first started No Limit, because he's from New Orleans. He's actually extended family. And then he was doing the music. He was in the studio one time, and one of my other cousins took me over there. He was doing a song. I was like, yo, man, let me get on that. He let me on it. And, you know, we've been rocking ever since, man. And, you know, that's how we formed a face called Bosses.
Nice. Love to hear it. Okay, Anthony, I want to end with some quick fire questions. You ready?
Yep.
Let's do it. Okay, favorite takeout food?
Fresh toast. I like breakfast food.
Nice choice. Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Okay, as a rapper yourself, Biggie or Tupac?
Pop.
Tupac, nice. Favorite sports movie?
I like Any Given Sunday, man. That was pretty raw. I really like that.
Nice choice. Okay, funniest teammate you've ever had?
Brian, I say Brian McFadden. B-Mac was pretty funny. B-Mac was a clown. B-Mac was a clown. I had to say B-Mac. B-Mac always kept some stuff going, man. B-Mac was a funny guy. I had to say Brian McFadden.
Nice. Okay, best locker room prank you ever saw?
It wasn't it's not a new prank. It's an old one. It's the old snake prank. But I was in Green Bay, and I believe somebody, I forget who it was, I think it might have been Nick Barnett. Somebody put a snake in A-Rod's locker. And I think his reaction, that was pretty damn funny. You know, cause he's a pretty big person himself.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm pretty sure some stuff I won't forget, but A-Rod is a big person. He's a big person.
It's a classic. Okay, in one word, describe how it felt to lift the Lombardi Trophy.
Gratifying.
Nice answer. Who's your favorite NFL player of all time?
Deion Sanders.
Nice. Yeah. Okay, who is the greatest safety of all time?
Me. Outside of myself, if I had to say a complete player, one of my favorite safeties, man, was R.I.P. man, Sean Taylor, man. He was like the complete package, man. I got to play with against bro in college, you know, with Miami and Syracuse being in the Big East. So, you know, I got to see that him and Sykes and Roll on one side, Antrell was on the other side. Then, you know, they had Big Ernest Wilford. Mm-hmm. They had Jonathan Vilma, DJ Williams. They had Shockley and Winslow on the other side. You got Frank Gore in the backfield. Who else was back there? McGahee was back there. Peyton Jr. was back there. They had Dre Johnson, that receiver. So I got, I got to see that, you know what I'm saying, in college, man. So, and then to get to see him do it in the league like that, man, that was he was a complete player, man. He was your typical what every safety wanted to be, that 6'3", 225.
Yeah.
That power, range, speed, everything, man. He had it, man. So I would probably say, man, Sean T, man.
Yeah, great answer. And finally, who's your pick to win Super Bowl 55 in Tampa?
I gotta go. I like Pat, man. It's gonna be hard to go back against him, man. He performing, he doing it, man, and I want to see him win some more. I want to see that. I want to see that dynasty win some more, man.
Yeah.
And then, you know, they got a great thing going on, man. And if not, I haven't really been paying attention to what teams made, what additions, but you know, just based off going last year, obviously the teams who were up there, Baltimore.
Yeah.
You know to see they're a young team. They can be a young team who can be a dynasty. So there's a couple young teams out there, man, with some great players, man, that could be some dynasty if, you know, the situations and teams allow them to stick together.
That's it. The Chiefs are the team to beat for sure. So wouldn't be surprised if they went back to back, definitely. Anthony, thank you so much for your time today. Where can people find you across social media? Check out your coaching for Battle of the Trenches, all of that kind of stuff. Where can people find you?
Yes, sir. All of my social media handles are @KingSmith, ANTKINGSMITH. Facebook, you can find me on there, Anthony Smith. I ain't on too many. I'm on Twitter, here on Instagram. But you can find all of us, too, on battleofthetrenches.com, man. I would advise everybody to go there, man. Check us out. See what we do. We coach a 7U organization. My son is on the team. You know, we got our first game is this weekend, tomorrow.
Hey.
So, you know, we got a little walkthrough today. We're going to sharpen up a couple things and get ready to go out and get this big dub tomorrow,
Yeah.
and keep things moving. So yeah, man, check us out, man. BattleOfTheTrenches.com, and on all the social media handles too. Battle of the Trenches.
100%. I'll make sure to leave all the links below so people can find you, follow you, check it all out, and support the great stuff you're doing.
Hey man, I appreciate you, man. Thanks for having me on, man.
Anytime. Thanks again, and have a great day.
Yes, sir. You too, Chief.
And there he goes, the brilliant Anthony Smith, an incredible player at the safety position with 2 Super Bowl rings to prove it. Now turning his effort into helping breed the next generation of NFL talent as part of Battle of the Trenches. Be sure to check out the great youth development organisation as well as Anthony himself on the links in the description of this episode. I've got many more great guests coming very soon, so stay tuned right here on Seb Talk Sports. And to take us out as usual, here's another brilliant track by All-Pro New York Giants running back, turned music creator and friend of the show, David Wilson. Catch you soon, guys.